Hey guys, what is up? This is Matthew Davis, me once again. Welcome back to another double movie review, aka After I Saw. I'm almost done making the place how I want it to be so I can show it for my tour video of my new place. It is almost done, so yeah. But anyways, in the meantime, I'm going to be talking about two movies. First movie I'm going to talk about is Shazam, Fury of the Gods, which is basically the main event for this entire thing, because I don't think anyone even saw the next movie that I'm going to review. But anyways, Shazam, Fury of the Gods. Once again, stars Zachary Levi, once again as Shazam, the adult version of Billy Batson, as him and his family are much older now. His friend Freddy gets a new girlfriend who apparently it was sort of love at first sight, but I'll get into that later. Basically, Billy Batson and his family are much older now, and they're basically getting a little bit like worn out from the whole saving the world type of thing, since nobody really appreciates them saving the entire world and stuff. Like when danger's going on, basically Billy is the only one that's motivated to do all this. And when the staff is found once again by these witches, they want to go up against Billy Batson because, of course, they want revenge because he broke the staff, and now that the staff works again, the wizard comes back, and basically he has to save the entire world and stuff. Now, the first movie was great. It was a very funny and very heartwarming film. I had so much fun. Me and my family saw it in New York in 4DX. The experience was amazing. So, because it was so well received and it did pretty well at the box office, it would only make sense that a sequel would be made. So with this new movie, can they really live up to that fantastic first film? No. Unfortunately, this movie it really did not need to be made. I think the reason that this movie was made is because I feel like with every big superhero movie getting amounts of praise from critics and doing so well at the box office, that of course there would have to be a sequel, because I feel like that's pretty much why the movie was made. And the movie doesn't really do anything big or special. It's basically like Billy Batson has to save the world. Now, Zachary Levi is great. He was great in the first movie, and he's great here. But I feel like the biggest problem with this whole thing is that it lacks the charm of the first film. The first film was less of a superhero film and more of an action comedy film, because really it focused a lot more on Billy and his new family, because you felt bad for Billy because his family just completely rejected him. But as he came along, he grew with this foster family, and he cares for them as if they were actually part of his real family. And with this film, I feel like because they're growing up, they don't really have a whole lot of chemistry together as well as they did with the first movie. I mean, the heart is still there, it's just lacking in it. And the humor, the jokes, you can definitely see where they're coming a mile away. I feel like the funniest part is during this one scene where one of the witches reads a letter that Billy was trying to make out. This magic pen that's apparently a companion now writes it for him, and yeah, that was basically the funniest part, but it definitely lacks in the humor and the charm that the first movie had. I feel like it's far more serious. This is a movie that takes itself too seriously in parts. Even when it comes to its humor, it still feels like it's going far more serious. And sometimes even depressing, too. And the first movie was far from depressing, but I feel like that's just the problem. They don't really know what to do with this film. They, of course, have to add new things, have to make it, bigger and better than it ever was, but it is bigger, but it's definitely not better. I just feel like the movie just didn't have the same energy as the first film had. The first film had a lot of energy going for it, and the writing and the humor was absolutely spot on, but right here, I'm sounding like a broken record at this point. Bottom line is, I don't really feel like this movie was as good as it could have been, especially with the fact that it's from the same director. I just feel like, it's kind of like on the same page as Wonder Woman, where the first movie was great, second movie not all that much, but the movie's not bad. It still has action in it if you came for that, but, oh yeah, and the girlfriend thing. It seemed pointless at first, because, of course, you cared a lot more for Shazam than, the other characters, but apparently it seemed pointless at first, but apparently the girlfriend has a much bigger role than you would expect, because something happens with her much later on that makes her completely relevant to this whole thing, that comes out of absolutely nowhere, it didn't really work for me. I mean, like, I really didn't care for Freddy and his, girlfriend situation or anything like that. But hey, the action's still there, and it's a nice looking film. But to me, that's not really where all the positivity should go to. It should go to the storyline and the charm that the first movie had being in here, but it really wasn't. It's on the same par as Ant-Man and the Wasp. It's a fine film, like it's watchable. It doesn't put you to sleep instantly. I just feel like the movie kind of felt a bit rushed. And I know I'm talking very negative, but the heart's still there. It has some good jokes, but it really lacks what made the first movie good. It's way too serious. It's a lot more focused on the serious stuff than the humorous stuff. I just feel like it mostly just kind of lacks the charm that the first movie had, and that's a shame. It's not a bad film, but it's one that I feel like it's just made because the first movie was so good that it needs a sequel. Like every superhero movie needs a franchise, but this movie definitely proves that that's not the case. So, bottom line, it's not a bad film, but it could have been so much more. I know with how negative I've been, I could have probably given it a lower score, but I didn't hate the film. It still has its moments, and it didn't bore me to tears, unlike the next movie I'm about to talk about, which is 65. This movie takes place 65 million years in the past, or I wasn't really paying attention. This is a movie about Adam Driver, and he goes onto a planet filled to the brim with dinosaurs, and there's a meteor coming down, and he meets up with this girl that reminds him of his daughter who died because of she was sick or something, and he wasn't there, or I don't know. But him and this girl have to get off the planet, and from there we get ourselves what could be a fun, cheesy dinosaur flick, just like on the lines of Jurassic Park. Although the first movie wasn't cheesy at all, it was actually a very intelligent film, unlike what came later down the line. I mean, I like the first Jurassic World, but I didn't like Jurassic World Dominion, but I feel like that movie had a lot more going for it, as this movie really didn't have anything going for it at all. And I know I'm a week late on talking about this film, but is anyone really going to care if I talk about it or not? I mean, nobody saw it. It came out the same day as Scream 6, and that made a lot of money, but I feel like most people just skipped out on this one, and I could see why, because you expect a lot of dinosaurs. Well, the movie, here's how I put it. Adam Driver walks, meets a girl, transports her to safety, random dinosaur attack, walks her to safety, they have a moment, dinosaur attack, which is very brief, and then just keep walking along, dinosaur attack, etc., etc. That's basically all that this movie is. And it's mostly just walking around the environments and not really focused on killing the dinosaurs. The action is like 15 or 20%. And the movie's an hour and 30 minutes, but really it was one of the most painful hour and 30 minutes I've spent in a movie. I rewatched all the Lord of the Rings movies, the extended versions, and they all felt shorter than this because there was more stuff going on. This movie felt so dull. It was one of the most boring experiences I've had in the theater since Morbius. And that movie's not even a year old yet. Well, I can definitely say that this is definitely a masterpiece compared to that, but Adam Driver at least tries to give a good performance, and the environments are fine. Like, they do use some like practical effects for some of the like details, but most of it is like they do try with the effects, but it's definitely far from Jurassic Park effects, which the Jurassic Park effects are pretty much flawless. But with this movie, I just feel like it doesn't know what it's trying to be. A deep emotional film that tries to give you like a fun action film, which it's not, or a very deep emotional film that tries to get you caring about these two characters. It honestly felt more like if you took what made The Last of Us and Logan so great and you just took all of that out, took out all the emotion and all of the development that the characters had, and you just got yourselves nothing, pretty much. I didn't care about the chemistry between Adam Driver and this one girl. Like, it's something that we've seen before. Like, it really just could have been Adam Driver just shooting down dinosaurs when it's mostly just him focusing on trying to get this one girl that he doesn't know at all to safety. And there isn't even a whole lot of characters. It's just Adam Driver and this one girl, and that's it. Like, there's no other characters that they interact with or anything like that. It's just Adam Driver and the one girl just walking along, and then dinosaur attacks, which is very brief. It's simple as that. 65 could have been like a Roland Emmerich disaster film, but even those were more entertaining, and I'm not even a fan of Roland Emmerich, but uh, I just don't know. It's not even worth it just to go out with your friends and just have a fun time. I recommend just seeing Cocaine Bear again, because at least that was a fun time, just filled to the brim with brutal action and characters that you don't really care about. But yeah, it fails to live up to something like that. Just, if you want a good dinosaur fun action film, then just watch Jurassic Park, because this there's way more dinosaurs than that and way more action, because it was a lot more tense. But this, the tension just kind of failed. Bottom line, it's not a good film. I recommend just not watching this one. And just wait till John Wick Chapter 4 comes out, because that, I know, is going to be filled to the brim with fun action. I know, it could have been so much lower, but I am willing to forgive Adam Driver trying his best with this one, but still, though, it's one that I'm probably just going to forget within the next day or two. I mean, I forgot most of it after I was done watching it, so yeah, just, I can see why nobody's seeing this one. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I am almost ready to show you guys this entire place. I'm really looking forward to it. Hope you guys are too. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Ward out.